Assalamualaikum strong believers, what's going on? This is Malik Pai. As a reminder, as you know, that a strong believer is better than a weak believer. I'm going to have one verse of the Quran. The translation is, "And we have enjoined on man to be dutiful and kind to his parents." Case closed, video's done. You guys can get back to work. This is all you need to know for the day. But if you want to hear more about kindness to parents, the reward and the encouragement and the stress that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts in these ayahs talking about how important it is, then stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get notification as I come up with new videos on this channel. Let's get started. As I said, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enjoined on man to be dutiful and kind to his parents. That's right there, you know, in previous video about having that sound heart that I talked about. One of the things is when you reflect upon the verses of Allah, that's what gives life to your heart. When it comes to the commandments of Allah, you think about it and you act upon it. Now, teenagers, let's face it, guys, and not just teenagers. It doesn't matter what age you're in. There's a huge trend that I see, and that the way we are, like I know somebody from my own family. These kids are like literally physically fighting with their parents for what? Just because you didn't get me a car, right? It's just over petty things, and in fact, you just feel like you are, you're like they owe you or something for what? Because you made your bed, right? Little things like that, and it's just you're losing out on a lot of reward in life. Once there was a janaza, and one of my friends' mom passed away, and the mom got up. It was Jummah khutbah, and he made a very beautiful speech, and he, stressed upon one point that, guys, just think about it. Like, this brother right here has lost his mother, but let's face it, all of us are going to lose our parents one day or another. I've always had a goal in life to make sure that I try to call it, diversify your portfolio. There's many ways of getting reward. Sometimes it could be just volunteering at the masjid, or going for hajj or umrah, praying at as many different places as you can, doing a lot of adhkar or dhikr, giving dawah, passing out flyers or pamphlets at some road, just talking to, or some event or some festival, giving dawah, telling people about Islam. So many things that we can do, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you're involved in one way or form when it comes to trying to get some reward from Allah. And when your parents are alive, take advantage of respecting them, gaining reward through helping them, being kind to them, and not just that, having even patience with them. There's a huge chance that they might be strict to you. Have patience, and a lot of times my parents personally, the things that they were strict about, now that I think about it, and yes, I did fight in terms of these are harsh rules and things like that. But now when I look back, I say that, if I hadn't listened to them, or if my parents hadn't stopped me, or had put all these restrictions upon me, I would not be where I'm at. And I compare myself with other friends who grew up with me and whose parents were a lot more lenient, and they will probably still had a bad relationship with their parents, but their parents were a lot more lenient, or just parenting was on autopilot. Those kids did not turn out to be as successful in both dunya and afterlife, in both religious aspect and worldly aspects as well. So just assuring you that if your parents are strict, it's for your own good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to be kind to and dutiful to your parents. That already is a command. And not following your parents is not following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands. So let's hear another verse. "And your Lord has decreed that you worship none but him, and that you be dutiful to your parents. If one of them or both of them attain old age in your life, say not to them a word of disrespect, nor shout at them, but address them in terms of honor." Now, this verse, you guys might have heard it, and in Arabic, it says, "Don't even say oof to them." And of course, the translation says, "Don't say a word of disrespect." I would translate that in English, it's even rolling your eyes, showing any sign like, really, like, I gotta do this, right? Even showing that type of impatience, or have a little bit of showing them that, man, you're just so stressed out because mom, you're just always telling me what to do. Even if you don't say a word, but just showing that disrespect out of, like, rolling your eyes, is what I would say is something like saying oof to them, or saying a word of disrespect to them, because you've conveyed a message that mom and dad, you guys are paying on me right now. I'm very uncomfortable around you right now, just by rolling your eyes. So you gotta show your best character. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs. Yes, we're gonna lose patience, but overall, if you're always just struggling and respecting them, think about this. If anything, let's say you're a teen, maximum you might have 30 years to 40 years max, right, with your parents. Why am I saying that? If you're a teenager, there's a huge chance that they're already like 45-ish or so. Average age 80, 85. By that time, they're pretty much losing their senses. You really have a quality of life. Some of us in my age, like a lot of us, we're like, let's face it, man, like with our parents, we have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who takes away life. But a lot of us probably have 5 to 10 years. And while they're alive, let's take that time and make sure that we are taking full advantage of it. Because once they're gone, that's it. You've just closed a whole door of gaining reward through kindness, or being dutiful to your parents, or helping them out. That whole door is closed. So another verse, and lower onto them the wing of submission and humility through mercy, and say, my Lord, bestow on them, or give them your mercy, as they did bring me up when I was young. Lower to them the wing of submission. I want you to imagine this. Here's the nest. There's little kids, little baby chicks in there, and then an eagle or a big bird comes, and they just have these wings around its babies. That's how your parents took care of you. And for those of you who are teenagers and you don't have any younger siblings, once you have your own children, you realize how it's not easy. Your mom waking up in like middle of the night, basically feeding you, taking care of you, changing your diapers. It's not easy. And that's basically, they were protecting you by their wings. Okay, this is just an imagery of protecting you. Now, once they get older age, now your responsibility is, because now they have the roles have pretty much switched. And now you have to take that part and lower your wings out of humility, out of humbleness, and making sure that you protect them and take care of them. It was narrated from Abu Hurairah that Prophet Muhammad SAW said, a man may be raised in status in paradise. And so this guy comes to the paradise and his status is being raised, and he's like, where did this come from? And it was said that from your sons praying for forgiveness for you. So while in this life, those are, you have so many things that you can do, helping out with cleaning up, taking garbage out for them, cooking food for them, taking them out, supporting them, right? If they're not working, make sure that you pay for the bills, have them come live with you. There's so many things that you can do, but then there comes a time, some of us whose parents have passed away, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them, raise their status in Jannah. But this hadith tells you, you can't be like, man, I can't do anything for my parents. I wish I had taken advantage of it when I was young and I took care of them. Well, it's not late, because even after their death, you can still continue on gaining that reward and helping them raise their status, because in Jannah, your parents could be there and they're just status is being raised in Jannah. Like after, day of judgment, all of a sudden they're granted paradise, alhamdulillah, but now their status is being increased. How? Because of your forgiveness. You're asking for forgiveness for them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Prophet also said that when a man dies, okay, his good deeds come to an end. Now that's something that you even have to think about it yourself, that when you pass away, your deeds come to an end, right? Your parents are benefiting because of you, but what about you yourself? While your parents are alive, of course, do whatever you can to gain that reward. Like I said, diversify your portfolio, and one of the aspect of this portfolio is your parents. Gain reward through them. And but now once you die, you can still continue on gaining reward. Now you can't do it yourself, but there's some things that you can leave behind that are going to accumulate your deeds for you. What are those? That is called sadaqah jariyah. Jariyah means continuous. So it's a sadaqah, it's a charity that is continuous. So even after you die, you're gaining that reward. There's three. So ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge. So imagine, like, let's say you create a masjid. You build a masjid, that's a charity, right? And now anybody who's praying there, you could be getting reward for it. The other is knowledge. You gain that knowledge, and I'm hoping this knowledge right here, that whatever I have gained, I put this on videos. Hopefully this channel stays alive for even after I'm gone. And whoever is watching, listening to this, and I'm hoping is beneficial, has added some value to your life, whether I'm in this world or not, inshallah I will be getting reward for it. And that's is inshallah the 100% intention of making this channel. But you can do the same. Share the message, comment below anything else that we can do to gain reward. So make sure, I want to hear what you guys do, some of the things that you do that might be creative, which makes your parents very happy. And that's one of the ways that you are gaining their love, and of course the reward from Allah. So the three I just mentioned, the two things that I mentioned, the other is and a righteous son or daughter who will pray for your parents. So that's one of the ways you can raise your status or gain more reward even after you die, which means parents, that's something for you. We are always talking about son, daughter, you gotta respect your parents because it is your duty. Lower your wing, don't say oof, all that good stuff. But what about yourself? Have you gained that respect? Now, remember, it is definitely your right, and it is definitely a duty on your kids, but you have to earn that as well, right? Again, I'm not gonna argue that even you can be as bad as you can. Kids, you still have to respect, teenagers, children, you have to respect your parents. Regardless of what age you're in, they're still your parents. Doesn't matter how big of a doctor you are now, right? Or how old you are. They are still your parents. You have to respect them. So I'm not going to argue against that. But at the same time, parents, do not act in a way where you're gaining their disrespect, okay? So why would your child make dua for you? Of course, he loved you. The way you took care of your children, how you raised them, how was your relationship with them? Build that relationship bond, so after you die, they are praying for you. You don't want to have any bad taste in their mouth that, oh man, dad used to do this and that, mom used to do this and this, and they might end up being ungrateful, and they might just wouldn't have that same enthusiasm to be asking for forgiveness for you. And those children, whether your parents are alive or not, some of the du'as that we read after every prayer, make sure you're remembering your parents in your du'as. Paradise lies at the mother's feet literally means that by serving your mother, so one of the best ways to gain paradise. One last thing. There's a story about Ibn Omar. Okay, so Abdullah ibn Omar, that a man from amongst the Bedouin met him on the road of Mecca, and Abdullah greeted him with salam, seated him on the donkey that he was riding, and gave him a turban that he had been wearing on his head. So Abdullah ibn Umar, okay, this is Umar bin Khattab, he's gone, and now it's Ibn Abdullah. And he sees this man while he's traveling, and he gives him his ride. He gives him his donkey, takes off his turban from his head out of respect for this Bedouin. Now, when I say Bedouin, this is basically uncivilized. These are the nomads, right? Came from some desert, and they're content with little stuff. But this guy gives him his donkey, his ride, and gives him a turban out of respect. Basically gives him nice clothes. So Ibn Dinar said, one of the Sahabas, he's like, we said to him, meaning Ibn Umar, that may Allah guide you, they are just Bedouins and they would be content with little. So Abdullah said, the father of this man was a friend of Umar bin al-Khattab, meaning my dad. And I heard the Messenger of Allah said that the best act of kindness is for the son to uphold ties of friendship with those who were his father's friends. Which means that even after your parents have passed away, just by taking care of your father's friends or your mother's friends, you are gaining reward. Now, if that's just for friends, imagine what it is for your aunts and uncles, right? Your father or your mother's parents, or basically your grandparents or your aunts and uncles. They're your father or mother's brothers and sisters. If that much reward is there just by taking care of your parents' friends, imagine what it is for your parents' siblings and their family members. So many ways that you can gain reward, not just in their lifetime, but even after they're gone, by making dua for them, and also keeping the ties of friendship and relationships together. That's what Islam is about, man. This is how you get strong. When I say strong believer, it's not just talking about muscle, although that's part of it, but also your faith. Okay, be strong, stay confident. This is Malik Bhai. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.